Okay, wait, Pantheon support?
It has to be, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, Pantheon Sejuani is insane because you can use the Empower W to immediately proc the Permafrost with the extra autos. The way that the Pantheon W works, when he has the 5 stacks, if he does jump onto someone, the free autos you do afterwards immediately proc Permafrost, so Keem needs to be careful.
Yeah, let's see whether he's going to survive. This is 3 versus 1. I don't think he's looking too hot in this one, and down will Keen go. First blood over to the Rek'Sai, and Zeus is on the board. Peanut unable to really respond, but he's still relatively tanky with that giant spell.
Has his prio in mid, roaming up towards top.
As well comes out immediately, and they're looking to hold them in position. Duro gets into the shape splitter, but there's a seismic shove. Viper picks it up, and it's 2-0 for HLE. And as we saw in the opening video, Chovy just cares about winning. So let's see whether they can actually start doing that, because so far they're down about 1,000 gold. HLE trying to get some grubs here, as it is going to be first one taken away by Peanut, standing in the back of the pit, wondering whether they want to fight for this or not, as you've got Zeka rotating over the flash forward from Delight. He gets the stun, the seismic shove on her too, as Zeka is put in the prison, but he does not care about it. Canyon trying to get himself out of there as Viper's still at full health, and Ruler finally will show up, as we're going to fight towards the bottom side at the same time. This last crab should belong to HLE. As you can see, Ruler getting himself out of there, and in the meantime, this battle's still happening here on the bottom side. Keen and Zeus just utilizing all of that region and their kit to be okay. That's a... What? The arcade ship? That was insanity here from Duro. Their way. And this should also be some feats well and truly on the way for HLE. One more kill, one more objective, and they will be able to upgrade their shoes. And that is going to be coming in right now. So be looking at that one to see whether HLE can get those upgrades. You have claimed control of the area.
And there you see the trigger pull doesn't work, and Hanwha Life need to either let this go or look for a re-engage.
Well, let's see what they can actually make work here as Zeka goes in, puts the wall down, gets out of there pretty quickly, as we do have the Rift Herald going over to Gen.G, and now they're looking for Zeka in the back of the pit. He didn't want to use the flashes. Now Canyon could be in a bit of trouble. Viper flashes away, but it's Zeka that's in trouble. Keen gets his revenge as he takes down 2. This Aatrox just burst to life at 16 minutes into the game, and Gen.G, I don't think they really cared about this whole Pantheon support thing.
Started the fight, the hesitation for Hanwha Life, because again, I think their comp stands or falls by the first second of the fight. They used their tools onto Canyon. He did not go down, but they still tried to contest the objective.
Yeah, looking for a counterplay of their own as they set the sights onto Keen. I don't think this is an easy dive.
Yeah, this Sundered Sky item is pretty good, as we do see everyone making their way down. Diving in Aatrox has been hard, but with all of your friends, you can take him down.
Okay, you got Aatrox. Look at top lane though.
No, don't look at top lane.
Look at mid lane.
Don't look at top lane.
No, I think they should.
Yeah, no, you're right. The play was, they did manage to do what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, the fallout is kind of insane, as this is an inner turret falling down, and the outer in the mid lane as well, which some would argue is even more important, as now Canyon has found Delight. Lots of damage as the double cyclone does come on in, and Ruler is there to back up the monkey. Canyon being really active here in this mid game.
Actually, nicely done there by Canyon. They will get the Hanwha Life with that play being extended towards top, get a inner turret themselves, which means that gold still ends up basically the same place where they begun at the whole start of the play. But mid lane turret is such a crucial objective as Ruler.
In the Ruler spot here in the mid lane, will get knocked up. There's the permafrost, and that is the chain CC that we were talking about. Yeah, and there's a lot more of it now with all of these structures hitting the ground. As Zeus looking for Chovy here, but he just walks his way out. There's the ulti to start this one up, but the ult from Peanut is not going to put Chovy in prison. He will get pushed out of the way as there's the flash forward. They get the knock up. There's the permafrost, and I guess you don't need to hit your R button if you've got a whole bunch of others.
And Chovy was confident in the 1v2, but there was 4 people there. So that might just be Otacon.
Quite frankly, Chovy was just flat out disrespectful. He was staring down the face of 2. He tried to go back for a trade, and he didn't respect Peanut's initiation range. It opens up the Otacon, and this gold lead that Gen.G had built is slowly whittling away.
Not to mention the fact that HLE can now catch up in petals, because they were getting destroyed on that front as well. So that number will be able to even out as this game goes on. And that advantage that Gen.G had will be taken away. The Otacon is a big deal.
Position on the Dragon. It's quite dark for the side of HLE as they look to approach, but there's the TP.
Yeah. Nico searching out, but you can see Zeus looking to get on top of Chovy one more time. This dragon down to about 4.5k as Peanut goes in, finds the Glacial Prison this time, but the Buff Blossom is too good! As Duro will be able to even get the kill on his opposite number. HLE falling down left and right, and it's Keen once again on an onslaught, and Viper Life Esports, he will be the last one to go down, and it's a triple for Ruler. A sneaky one as they are indeed. Duro moving in, pretending to be Ruler, as we can see, as they get full vision of this Baron. It's going down pretty quickly as Zeka will make his way over. Teleport in from Keen as well. Let's see whether they can take this Baron, because this could be a difficult team fight. True Shot Barrage goes through Peanut, locks down the Baron. Delight is so incredibly low, but he had the shield for so long. They get rid of him, but can HLE keep themselves alive? Viper cannot, and Gen.G will get the punish, but they keep the Barons on the map.
In favor of Gen.G, all of the vision is being denied. HLE are trying to find any purchase or any avenue into this river right now.
Utilizing the Tremor Sense quite effectively here as Zeus goes underground, senses what's going on. They clear out the way, but it looks like the dragon is going to be started. Zeka gets himself over. Let's see whether Peanut can do it again. The Pop Blossom comes through, lands on top 4, and Delight once again goes down instantly. It's a trade of supports as now Ruler is free hitting the Realm Walk just to zone Zeka away. They do manage to get 2 though, and there is the root. They get the knock up. Chovy goes down. Ruler is still standing though, and it's a triple for Viper. He wants to pick up that quadra kill, but mainly they're just happy they won the fight. Zeka gets back in, and with a full health bar, I think they should be able to get rid of Ruler here, or at least push him away.
30 seconds, this mid lane turret about to fall.
This time round, HLE didn't commit everything into trying to force the fight.
Double knockup meant that Aatrox can be such a nuisance in the fight if you have to use your cooldowns on other members, but he actually went down to like 30 HP, so he didn't get to play the big drain tank, as we're still going!
Yeah, Peanut going in, looking for more power. Once again, it's 4! True Shot Barrage there as they try and keep Ruler out of the fight, but now he's in there. Zeus at full health though, as Peanut going down so incredibly low, and Viper getting so much damage in the fight. Keen finds the angle, but Peanut has the Winter's Wrath, and now it's Zeus going down, Viper at 100, and Ruler will not be stopped. Looking for it, he flashes forward, and it's a double for the Ezreal, as once again he's left standing.
It's a bloodbath in the LCK Finals rematch.
They know teleport comes in from Keen.
Yeah, vision absolutely everywhere here for Gen.G as Duro makes his presence known. Keen spotted with the Tremor Senses. Canyon tries to get in there, but he just blast cones his way out. Keen has also found the knock-up onto Zeus. It could have been the mistake as he throws down the ulti. They look for a bit more, but it's Ruler that's dominating. And now it's a 4v5 in Gen.G's favor, and they're looking for a Baron themselves. HLE, they do not want to let this go, but I think they might even have to as Canyon goes in, seismic shove. Not going to quite find it as Duro finds another Pop Blossom onto everyone that was left, and then it's mopped up by the Aatrox.
The Wombo combo is beautiful from Gen.G as they hunt down the retreating HLE members. Canyon, the smite of the team, doesn't even care about being in the Baron pit. That wasn't their objective. They wanted to win the fight, and they want to win game 1.
And it's the fact that the turn on Canyon doesn't work out. That blast cone saves his life. Zeus, as a result, is in an awkward spot because they don't trade 1-for-1. The entirety of Hanwha was trying to take down the top laner, and it doesn't end up working, and now Hanwha Life, just like that, that might be game 1!
Yep, Peanut's back was stopped this entire time. Nexus turrets now lie in ruins as this, he's trying to protect it, but it does not work. First Nexus is claimed by Gen.G, but man, that was a banger.
No, there were a lot of different angles. The orange to me made sense because, as you highlighted, that there is so much disengage available. Literally 4 out of 5 champions on Hanwha Life have tools to create space one way or another.
As Keen knew that he couldn't confirm the kill, didn't want to make himself too vulnerable, but Zeus, he's not going to be able to get back to this wave like ever. He does decide to do so, as now Keen could be the one to Keen had the scissors out and chops him down. It's a solo kill in the top lane. He is on this champion, and that seems to be happening once again. Only a slight lead as far as CS is concerned. We will be teleporting back as we've got a bit of a scuffle here towards this bottom side. Heroic charge, not quite doing too much as Keen trying to get the damage down onto Delight. There's the hook, but it doesn't quite hit the mark that they were looking for. Zeus still dashing around, trying to find the angle. Peanut making his way in. He'll get the audacious charge. Wind becomes lightning, and he takes down Duro. Keen gets but it's a double for the man on his last dance as they equalize the kill.
They're trying to annoy a little bit, but they're not contesting this really, and just going to give up the early objective.
Yep. Having a look at it here from the side angle, it's just Canyon finishing this one off.
It's pretty interesting that even though Keen has 2 kills, because of how far behind in farm he's fallen, ability, once that flash is unavailable, Canyon going to secure the first grub of the game, and then EQ over the wall to safety. Chovy's back actually interrupted.
Yeah, Mega Inferno Bomb comes down as Viper wants to finish him off. Down to 150, but it's not quite enough. As the B-Zig's can make his way back towards this mid lane, but that is a decent amount of cooldowns now eaten up here, as Viper does need to now wait the longer time for that one to come back off.
Will net Hanwha Life to 2 grubs. That really is the most...
That's the prize?
Yeah, that, maybe a mid plate as well. Looking at a bit more of a substantial gold lead, some item finishes, which haven't quite come through. As Duro's here.
Yeah, a little bit of a face check here from Zeus as he throws out the public execution. Duro, he's going to turn up though, and down goes the Ambassador. That is Feats of Warfare over to Gen.G, and a bit of a mistake once again here. Champs susceptible here to the Keeper's Verdict, but not susceptible to
it's just
having
gone.
this Drake taken away, as it is just going to be removed. Poppycopter not going to do too much as Duro finds the angle. Chains of Corruption are going to come down, but Gen.G not interested in a fight. They got what they wanted of this Rift Herald, and that will indeed come on through. So Canyon wanting to put that one together. We don't have Feats of Strength down just yet, but this will mean it for Gen.G. As Peanut goes in, not wanting to give this one away. As you can see, the Hextech Minefield doing so much work. The flash out of the way, the Mega Inferno Bomb was necessary. As Zeus, it's a teleport over extension as he flashes away back into the pit, but it looks like Peanut might be able to take it. There it is. As they look for the eye as well, Peanut will be able to collect that one. Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the Jarvan, and now Keen has to be the savior for Gen.G, and he may be just that as he takes down Peanut first and then just dashes out of the back of the pit.
As Duro went in, Canyon got knocked out. So Canyon wasn't even there. They didn't get value from the Jarvan whatsoever as Duro
in trouble yet again here as Delight looking for a bit of an angle. Doesn't quite get there, but when the wind becomes lightning, does get the slow. Peanut, another audacious charge as Canyon comes on through. Mega Inferno Bomb! And that is so much damage the Nautilus could not take.
Herald's drop mid. Hanwha Life really want to deny the possibility for a soul point here for Gen.G. As mid lane turret will fall. That's the first turret of the game as well, and I think Gen.G have had better setups thus far in this series for objectives.
Is going to be there. Let's see how much damage it's going to get down on both of the carries into that backline. Is now Duro once again going to be eliminated, but Keen finds the backline. Delight going to be the first one to go down as Ruler is able to do it. Peanut gets in, but it's Canyon with the smite. This time around, Soul Point, some cool shoes, and let's see whether they can win this fight at the same time. Great knock-up onto Zeus as he's trying to dash his way up, but Zeka finds the angle onto Ruler. The Emperor's Divide will find it again as Zeus is able to take down Canyon. HLE, a gorgeous team fight.
Oh, difficult. So this should be an uncontested objective, but as I say that, Canyon's making his way down.
Yep, they're looking to fight for the Otacon. They're not going to be able to stop this tower from falling down. Yep, 2 teleports bring Duro and Keen into the fight. The Otacon down to 50%. HLE do need to be careful. Steadfast presence is decent, but it's only onto Duro, and Delight is already taken down. Viper getting closed in onto Chovy as Zeus looking for Keen in that backline, but I don't know whether he wants that fight as Peanut so close to dead. The Crescent Guard doesn't work, and he's thrown into the sky by the Demacian Prince. Now the Otacon should go over to Gen.G, unless Zeus can do anything about it. It is going to be there, and Zeus also going to get picked off, although he's looking for Chovy before he goes down. Chovy barely survived, and it's Ruler that picks up the kill. Emperor's Divide used defensively here as HLE limp away.
One sprouts up once more.
And it's the mark from Keen onto Zeus. Last time he was trying to 1v2, that doesn't work out. But Keen keeps Zeus out of the fight, and even though this Mbessa isn't necessarily in the best of spots, if he finds an ult onto Ruler or Chovy, they will still die just from the ult. But instead, he gets marked. He was in the same position against them way back in the road to MSI, and Gen.G was able to fight back. I think you're going to be feeling a lot more confident if you're not there, as Hanwha Life, they know they have to take this fight.
Let's see what they can actually get done here. Like you were saying, Cloud Soul going to make this poke comp difficult to play as Chovy going to get cornered here, but gets out of the way of the bomb. They did manage to take him down in the end though, as Viper is untouched. Keen gets in there, he's in the mist looking for Zeus, but the needlework doesn't quite connect, and now it's him that has to flash away. A blast cone is going to be there for him and Ruler to stay safe, but this dragon belongs to HLE.
And it's Peanut that finds his old teammate, takes down Chovy. And that is Soul Point denying Hanwha Life, showing that Gen.G had to work for it in game one. They're going to have to work for it in this one.
Pit as possible, and Zeka will secure that top tower. That is now all outer towers finally going down. 26 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Just goes to show how much slower this one has been. Not in the kills department, but in terms of the map control.
Gauge target for Gen.G. Been able to consistently find him with those ults from Ruler. Has flipped the game on blue buff.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that sounds like a fun idea. We've got teleports committed. As now
joking!
Delay going down incredibly low. Keen is just going to chop him to pieces. The Poppy's not there, but the Emperor's Divide is going to try to punish. He wants to take Viper with him. It doesn't quite work. And now they look to go in. It's a beautiful Cataclysm to break up the Fighters Canyon. Also able to walk his way out. Peanut, he couldn't do so, as now Ruler is trying to do what he can.
Oh!
And the flag takes down the Xin Zhao. Gen.G with 4 left standing managed to win the fight.
Keen takes things into his own hands as he runs down the HLE support, turning this into a chaotic skirmish, which Gen.G walk away the victors. Now there's no jungler on the side of HLE. This Baron will be uncontested, and Gen.G, just like that, take firm control over game 2.
And it sets up into that Soul in a minute and 15. Dragon is gonna spawn.
Helper, not as much, as far as frustration is concerned, as now Gen.G with this siege set up. Zeus able to dash his way out of dodge, as Peanut just looking to clear out whichever camps he can find. It's all right, Gen.G set up now for this Cloud Dragon. Delight off to the side, wanting to try and make this helicopter work for him. If this Keeper's Verdict lands, it could be such a big deal. Chains of Corruption, he's going to start this fight as Peanut. Crescent Guard there to keep himself safe. And now the flash in, he gets through, he managed to cancel it! Public Execution is still going to be able to find Zeus away into the backline, but the Cataclysm is there from Canyon to buy the space, and Zeka goes down. Zeus is going to follow suit, and he tried as he might, but Gen.G are going to win out, and even though they lose, the Drake might be able to take even more.
To deny HLE from getting back to base, because if they stop Viper, then the wave clear disappears. With the Baron, they're setting their sights on their first inhibitor of the game.
BTPs, 40 seconds, initial highlight Vedi. If any other member was alive, I think they're just cooked, but it's Viper that's still there.
Oh, Peanut gets a whole lot of his health back, but unfortunately, Chovy's Orb is now doing a fair bit of work, and he's able to put him down.
That ward.
Yeah, King goes over to the side and now is going to show himself. Peanut is alongside him, but that means he's nowhere near the pit. This is the long con from Canyon. Can he find the angle? Duro goes in, but the steadfast presence stops it. It denies it, and there is the Emperor's Divide doing absolutely nothing. Ruler this time gets the last laugh as they dive on forward. It's the resurrection here for a Canyon as HLE now trying to do what they can. Viper is still alive with so much damage. Ruler is there as well, but the artillery not quite landing. A 3 versus 3 after all is said and done. And is that it? Okay, it's a stalemate. He's going to try and get there as soon as he can, but I don't know whether it's quite going to work. Canyon needs to hit this fight. He does it. It's taken by Viper. Mega Inferno Bomb gets rid of Duro, but now Canyon, can he find the damage in this one? And he should be able to, but no, the satchel gets him over, and the Q is not enough. HLE even out the Drakes.
It's a 4v4 as Duro is still down.
Yeah, they absolutely have to fight for this one. This second Baron is going to be so difficult for them to deal with. The Poppy Copter, it gets rid of the job, and there's no smites in here now as the Public Execution connects on a Chovy. So much damage from Zeus as they've taken down already from down. It's Viper as he finds his mark, and HLE, it should be their turn to take the Baron this time. I present to you the 1-6 Ambessa from Zeus, who was such a monster finding the angle onto the backline, and that will net them this Baron. He certainly knows what he's doing.
I want to draw your attention to some of these flanking wards, possibilities that Gen.G could be looking for.
And Gen.G just brute forcing their way in, but the darkness is so scary. These bouncing bombs, as you can see, doesn't matter who you are, it's going to do a whole lot of damage. The minefield down, the satchel down. Now the minefield's going to fall, but Duro doesn't find the hook as they get rid of the Joven again. Chovy's almost just dead before it even starts, as they'll take Duro as a consolation kill. And the Public Execution brings Zeus into the backline. 1 versus 3, but he's got friends on the way. And the Emperor's Divide, it shuts down Keen. Canyon is now looking to run his way to the other side of the map as Peanut will find him. It's It's jungle versus jungle, and Peanut says, not this time, Canyon. HLE are going to look to even out the series, as Gen.G should be losing most of their base.
And Hanwha Life's tenacity will be rewarded as they try to pull the waves, but it doesn't matter. Hanwha's in their base.
Yep, these minions should stay alive, and they've got so much damage to these structures. As Ruler just doing his best. The Baron is worn off. Mega in front of him this time. Not going to connect. Shockwave is going to connect as well. As Chovy takes down one, Ruler takes the other, and HLE. They're like, nope. Get me out of here. We're gonna play this game some more.
The base.
He has yet to die in this game. He's done so much damage.
Yep.
We're back to Baron.
Third Baron. This is now officially the longest game at Worlds, and it's not looking that close to ending just yet. Satchel is decent there, as let's see what the Poppy can get done. It hits two, it's Ruler and Chovy, and Zeus looks to get in there, and now Duro should be the first one to fall, but no one's gone down yet. Zeka is the first one to go, as now Zeus gets chopped up by Keen. The bouncing bombs are still there, though. Viper is at full health, but Gwen is immune.
Keen on the front line just melts through HLE.
Here we go. Joey, just stop much.
Okay, he's on his it, but still has to walk through the minefield. Now he's at 50%. It's Baron. Not quite so much. And we've got the Hex Flash from Delight. Let's see whether he can find the angle. He doesn't have the ultimate, but he does have the smite angle. Chovy also now having to deal with the Baron, but they get rid of the Poppy, and down goes the Baron. Absolutely required.
Is that it?
Gen.G want to win this game.
Six is still alive. Thing. That's just there in case. But we're only 3 minutes away. Gen.G is going to keep on poking, but we can see the wave clear from Viper remains an issue.
And gentlemen, we have hit longest game. That's definitely happened. We're also hitting most kills in a game.
Inventory of Duro, which is why Delight has to get back to base as quickly as possible. The Elder started.
Yeah, there is the hook connecting here as it's onto Peanut. Can he actually keep himself alive? The answer is yes. Mega Inferno Bomb into the backline breaks the shields. And Zeus, he now wants to be able to find that angle. Heroic charge from Delight as he's trying to be a hero. The Shockwave is going to connect, but Zeus gets into the backline as well. Out goes Canyon yet again, but Zeka is dead. And the hook connects from Duro. Stun comes down, but Zeus, I mean, he's Ambessa, so should be able to get himself to relative safety as Peanut looks to pick up the wave here in the mid lane.
Allows for Gen.G to take position around the Drake, but in that war of attrition, it was Gen.G that held strong. HLE, they couldn't threaten the backline like they could earlier. The ulti from Viper just knocking off those spell shields.
Oh, down to 4.
He's waiting for as long as possible to ensure they have the biggest amount of uptime.
Gen.G on the top side of the jungle though. HLE can't afford to fight, they have to stall, and they have the chance to do it.
I love this from Hanwha. So what they're doing is making sure that there's no multiple waves for Gen.G to play off with the Baron buff, forcing them into a fight, which if they overextend, if Viper can stabilize, who by the way is still deathless, there's an angle here for Hanwha to hold on despite everything, and you gotta imagine after a game like this is Keen.
Keen could be in a little bit of trouble here as they look to take him down. He's flashed, and there's the ulti out of Zeus. Are they looking to just go for a base race just right here? Keen buys a bit of time, but he is now dead. And they've got a minion wave coming on through. It looks like Gen.G might be able to get it done, but Viper is still here. The minion wave is not. As Zeus is looking to stop these backs. He's got a GA, and never mind. They want to go for the team fight. Out goes Canyon. Yeah. We must order one. Let's see. As Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but it's eaten by a whole bunch of shields. As, oh my God. Okay, Viper, calm down a little bit.
There's some wards behind them, but...
Kind of Nivea stuff happening here. That's all right. HLE looking to try and defend this inner turret. It's probably not the hill that I'd die on, and they are not going to.
Well, we did almost end the game. Remember when we thought the game was going to end over blue buff? There it is.
The Elder has spawned. One last reset, but no.
Here we go, gents.
They don't have time for that one as Gen.G all converge onto this dragon. They have the vision advantage as Peanut shows himself. He does have a control ward down, and they see that none of Gen.G are at this area. They're setting up for a play. Ruler goes forward. Canyon looks to get the knockup. He does find it. There is the chain as well. As Peanut might be caught out of position. He has a GA. But now in such an awkward spot. He tries to get himself out of there and he survives. He's dodging the needlework. He finds the heal. As Canyon might be traded for this one. Delight goes in. Looks for the angle. But they've managed to take two. And now Gen.G, they move themselves forward. Viper's still alive. The Empress Divide doing a fair bit of damage. but it's one Ziggs and an Ambessa against the wall, and Ruler is flashing on top of Zeus. Gen.G, I mean, they haven't managed to do that thing we were saying, but they may just take the Nexus down instead.
All it took was a single pick onto Peanut. This late into the game, the death timers are so long. Viper alone, I don't think he has enough to hold the line.
Let's see what he can do. He's got that health bar back up yet again.
I can't let him approach.
There are no minions. As Mega Inferno Bomb deals with that wave, but he needs another one for the next. Zeus is doing such a good job as they look to take down the Nexus. Starts the Nexus is now exposed. Zeus, he finds one, and there it is! Gen.G will reach match point.
While Kai'Sa definitely has poke, especially if you go for the hybrid build, thanks to her W, she wants to threaten backlines.
Yeah.
And the rest of the comp doesn't really. They want to play front to back, and they want to play with range.
Some double teleports coming on forward here at the same time as Delight and Zeka make their way back onto the map. The benefit here of Zeka making sure that he held on to that summoner spell. Peanut could be in trouble though, as you can see, only level 5 for the Trundle. He'll have to flash if he wants to get out, and he does so. Canyon doesn't necessarily need to, and he decides to double back. Viper in a lot of trouble as the Arcane Storm doing so much work. Duro gets flashed on though as Viper looks for the angle. He doesn't get stunned up by the Cosmic Binding, and in the meantime, HLE also pushing them out on the other side as Duro going for some funny business, and Delight throws up the Gen.G emote as Gen.G still do manage to back away, but the Bard is lying on the floor of the jungle. Yeah.
Why are we only on game 2?
Isn't this game 4? This doesn't make sense.
It's not, and it's because of that man, and he's already sitting on the gold lead.
Yeah, Canyon going for another drive though. Let's see, the suppression does come on through as Canyon holds Peanut in place, but subjugation is very powerful. Chovy in so much trouble, but he keeps himself alive. Delight tries to get out, and Ruler with the ulti is going to take him down. It's a double for the Kai'Sa as Gen.G. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're winning the team fights.
A lot of ultis unavailable for HLE, but they still try to contest the objective. Zeka looking for the extended trade. His ulti's coming up very soon, but it's not up just yet.
Yeah, Zeka is able to at least push Keen away, but the grubs are being taken down by Canyon.
I love that while all of this is happening, Ken's like, yeah, I can take the grubs, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered. Starts emoting in his face.
Yeah.
And he is Skarners, obviously. Delight with only a hammer, not going to be able to chew through him.
Going to be popped to make sure that HLE are going to be able to stay alive. That is a decent cooldown, now unavailable. Ward inside the pit. As Chovy picks up first item and is going to move over to help out with this one.
That's just gone.
Yeah, Keen spotted on the top side of the map, but it's not going to change anything as down goes the Dragon. That's going to even things out. Hextech Soul
helps him to deal with the sign better as well. Obviously, Hollow Radiance is bought as Keen might be in trouble. There has no ult, and Peanut's there.
Speaking of the Scion, the knockup is not going to connect as Peanut throws down the ulti to start this one up, and without the ability to turn into a train, this Scion is just a matter of time before he does go down. That is kills evened out, as even the traffic cone there to make sure that Zeka stays alive.
Now he needs 100 gold. He needs 100 gold now.
In the area. Delight and Viper moving on over as Ruler making his way in. He's spotted on Vision as he gets over here. Duro might be in a little bit of trouble as Zeka coming on in as well. Keen does get knocked up as Zeka discovers him from over the wall as Zeus gets on through as well. Duro takes the magical journey, but he doesn't have that for the rest of his teammates. It's Canyon that manages to take down the objective as Tempered Fate locks up a couple. The quickness gets into the backline as Delight that finds his former teammate. Ruler stays alive for so long, but Zeus says no. Flashes on top of him as at least Chovy's able to take out one, but it's HLE demonstrating that this team fight, this composition team fight so well.
The Cosmic, the one that makes you move fast.
I know, I've also blanked on it.
Sorry?
Cosmic Drive.
Yes.
There you go.
They've got two drivers in the game. It does make some sense.
Well, yeah, I'm just making sure. Peanut behind them.
Yeah, looking for Duro here as he does go for a very short magical journey, but the red carpet you were talking about, Betty, is going to be laid out for him, and the Bard not going to be picking up any chimes anytime soon.
For this game 3, and after winning that fight, they're just running away with it. There's a lot of towers left for them to secure. I mean, a single tower hasn't actually dropped yet 18 minutes in. So maybe I'm speaking too soon.
Whoever gets that is going to get feats of strength as well. So this first Drake is, first turret is going to be a big deal.
On the ultimate is play towards sides, right? Find the ability.
Zeus moves out of the way of Canyon at least, but I don't know whether it's quite going to be enough to keep him alive. The Impale is going to be invested as he lasts a lot longer than we expected, but that is going to be still shut down gold going over to Keen on this Scion.
Even there you saw it. Ruler was actually pathing over. He was like, oh, it's for me? Free kill? Can I get that one? But not actually working out. Zeus there know that he has to dodge the ultimate from Canyon, so he's just waiting and waiting. But then they just kind of slowly hit him to death.
I did love that Zeus was like up, down, down. He was trying desperately to dodge away from that ult.
Turret as well.
And it was kind of Canyon just
Zeka
watching
will be able
him.
to get it. Upgrade some shoes.
Also,
Yeah, they were not impressed. They're just like, we have Hollow Radiance and like, we're grasp autoing you to death.
It's like that scene from Indiana Jones.
Advantage!
Are they going to start it themselves though? Doesn't look like it.
Rift Herald is going to be driven into this outer turret. Still going to be able to get that charge. Let's see if Canyon can get himself out of here. Zeka finds the knock-up onto Canyon. That's the smite to be taken down. The quickness invested. And Canyon should be going down, although he does spend some time driving. Delight now, 50% as the equalizer comes on in. Tempered Fate finds absolutely nothing as Chovy flashes to get himself out of the way, but Zeus has a flash as well and a flamethrower to boot. As now Ruler turns up, but he's turned up to a fight that he is not winning today. And Peanut with a full health bar comes on in. Viper finds the kill, and this could just be an ace as Keen is still left standing, but the rest are on the floor.
Now, Ruler is dropped, and HLE find a convincing fight once again.
And it's again the hubris from Gen.G. Statement, the biggest lead we've seen so far in the series, maybe? Kind of?
It's feeling like that, but this is also the biggest engage from Delight.
There we go!
As Viper goes unstoppable, taking down Ruler. Tempered Fate will be avoided, but works is pretty decent.
Just run them down. There's nothing that Ruler can do, and it's again the risk that you run when you go for these dual carry compositions, especially against a Rumble. Once that ulti drops, your carry's just forced to retreat.
Yeah, or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that option. Yeah, that's the other one.
Zeus might be forced to do the same thing here as
He's just
quite
running.
able to catch up. He is just looking to run away, almost tries to dodge, but the Arcane Storm, it goes down, and Chovy is able to collect the kill onto the Rumble. So the answering Drake is going to come on through, but that is sole point for a Rumble.
For free.
And Ruler actually took the Southern Hex Gate as well. They have no idea about this. The Baron is just gone. Yep. And Canyon just going to be blocked here by Delight. Ruler comes on over with a Boomerang Blade, and they say, thank you very much for this cute purple worm. There's a minute until the Hextech Soul, and they have Baron to get them the control. Let's see whether they fight for this one. No equalizer for it. It's going to be Zeka that needs to make that play if they want to make something happen. He looks for the flank angle as he gets the knock-up onto Ruler, but he then just snaps back. Immediately, Zeus just holding them at bay, and man, that Harpoon did so much damage as Keen drives in, but it's Delight that takes down Duro to start the fight off. The bottom lane has been eviscerated, and Zeus, he goes into Zhonya's at exactly the right time, and Chovy overextends to try and kill him. They do take down the Rumble, but again, they're happy to pay that price to win this game.
Exceptional execution from HLE. Zeus almost able to get out of the fight, which would have made it a perfect ace, but they'll be happy with a 5-for-1 and a soul to boot.
And I was going to say, where has this HLE been this series? But they've been right here. These games have been so extraordinarily close until right now as they come alive. I think it was an outdrafting at the same time, but you have to say, as far as momentum is concerned, this is a huge deal to bring HLE back into this series and maybe queue up some silver scrapes. As I say that, though, it's 2 inhibitors going down. Knows that this one is pretty much done, but they have to beat them 3 times.
Well, in the series, it's not. In this game,
yeah,
we're looking good.
Yeah. Okay.
One number is not like the others.
I don't. Whoa. Okay. I remember some numbers.
Is that?
That's a big gap.
That's over 9,000, gentlemen.
I would say that is the lead. You're exactly right, as we're now sieging on this last inhibitor turret on the top side of the map. Equalizer goes down. Canyon trapped on the wrong side of it, but it is just going to mean that this turret falls. The Impale is going to come through. Tempered Fate to try and hold Peanut in position, but he's not the priority target. The Arcane Storm goes in, but it hasn't expanded just yet. And HLE, we'll see whether they can clear this last one out. They're not quite able to on this push. They have another wave coming in. The exhaust comes down. There's a great pillar once more. As Zeka gets on over towards Chovy, finds a knockup and executes in the final from Zeka. Welcome to Zeka's Yone, as it's a double, a full house. Zeka's full of Vipers, and they'll bring us to game 4 in this best of 5.
This is what we were hoping for. HLE bounce
Listen
back
to the crowd as
in
Peanut
game
stands
3.
up.
So we got Zeka on his Aurora, which he's not allowed to have.
Yeah.
Viper and Ruler in a scaling matchup. Chovy on a mage, we have Canyon on a signature Nidalee, we have Keen Sunday, and they both have engaged supports.
Chose Nidalee as
Oh,
his
absolutely.
champion in 2021, in 2020.
Oh, Ruler might be in trouble. There's
Yeah.
6.
Zeus waited, there's a Hextech ultimatum, and Ruler, when asked the ultimatum, he says, I got nothing. He flashes to try and get out of the way, but the flash from Viper, and first blood for Smolder!
Face, ulted Ruler, made sure he was dead, and then he TP'd the bot lane, which he probably should have based first.
I just imagine being Peanut pressing tab and thinking, like, Camille still has no items. What? Hello, Camille, can we spend some gold, please?
Where you need to build full items. Full Trinity Force coming in first up. I hope that's not the case, but Canyon moving on over here as they start up the grubs. HLE in position to fight as Zeus still hasn't based.
They can't contest this. Keen is going to be here.
No, but Ruler isn't.
He's
no
walking down
TP
towards the
though.
bottom side. Is okay. Mom comes down. Fair bit of damage comes on through. Unable to snipe that grub out of the way. So it should be 3 going over to Gen.G as Peanut gets in there to try and steal his...
Collapsing as well. HLE are committing to this dragon.
Yeah, teleport actually to the top lane. Kind of insane here as Keen can teleport back down if he would like to. Teleport in from Chovy. They are going to contest this. There's the Pulverize onto Delight. He's got the Eclipse to keep himself healthy. As Canyon comes in, there is the Smite from the Nidalee. Works very, very well. Meanwhile, fight towards the top side of the map as well as the all-out comes on through. Zeus does have the hook shot, just gets himself out of there. Another Hextech Soul.
Doesn't mean that much, and now Gen.G get to do what they love, set up and poke.
Well, it's right now just engaging onto this Rift Herald as Delight makes
That's a
his
commit.
way over. They know what's going on. Mom comes down, doesn't do much of anything at all, but man, that Achu doing a lot of work. Zeus moving his way in. That's going to be the steal on the Herald. Between Worlds comes through as well, but Chovy takes first blood in the fight, but now it's HLE's turn as the Keen Sante says not today, HLE. Turns around and slams them into the ground.
Clumped up for Ruler to dish out the damage himself. And with Keen being as strong as he is at this point in the game, it is a terrifying situation.
Did he flash over the wall?
No, dash.
Ah,
He
dash
bounced.
over the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, I need to keep track of
Important
your-
distinction.
Yeah, dashes or flashes over walls. It's very important. As the eye was picked up by Zeus, of all people. Should be
They're just
him
gonna keep
taking down
going.
a turret. He does manage to do that, but
But he's the Herald. He's not going to use it?
well, we'll see. Paranoia is going to come on through here as Zeka could be in some trouble. The Q3 connected and down he goes. Peanut in trouble as well as the Redemption. Going to barely be enough to keep him in this fight. In the meantime, the Rift Herald is getting involved, but they take the inner turret.
And
that's
that-
an even trade.
That can't happen. You can't die as Aurora with flash up.
The entire enemy jungle is littered. HLE have a few wards here and there, but they are not in a position to contest.
That's the whole point. Where did the 2k gold lead come from?
Yeah, I was
Man.
trying to figure that out as well.
Jovi's been farming like a madman.
Oh, right,
and
there it
Zeka
is.
just died bot lane.
So we are approaching 210 CS. It's great for Hanwha Life, and they basically don't get a do-over. I say that as maybe they catch Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy caught out of position with that Solar Flare. He has to flash as Peanut gets in there. The fear is
That-
beautiful. Spiraling Despair doing a whole bunch of work. And Canyon takes down Peanut. It's a 1 for 2 so far as Ruler. Now just trying to kite this one out. Zeus in so much trouble. So many orbs peppered into the back of his skull. As Viper and Zeka now trying to escape. And the damage is just too much. Keen
turret.
chasing after them. The spear just barely misses. But they're holding them in place. Another spear flies through and Keen just dashes on top of the dragon. Zeka gets torn apart and Gen.G are looking for a repeat.
To the World semifinals.
For Hanwha Life, so many things enter the opportunity for Zeka to try and...
We talked about the Nidalee, but like the stats really do back the man. There is a reason why this man is so feared on this champion. And the comp, again, just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When he has this champ, it feels like whatever comp he's playing with bends to his will.
Atlas,
Yes.
I know what we can do to save this, and I think you do too.
No. Well, okay, sure. Peanut, Spiraling Despair coming on through here. Yeah, I'll shave it off. If they win, and we
I'm
go
with
to-
you, brother. Let's
to the
go.
fifth, together.
For scrapes?
Oh, I love this. And potentially our last cast together of
Hey,
all time.
Viper has hit his stacks.
Oh, Zeus is in a potential flanking position. Canyon, they haven't done a lot of damage to this Drake just yet. Duro waiting on the side. There is Mom coming down, doing a fair bit of damage. As Viper does have those stacks, it is going to be the Hextech Soul though. As now, can they actually stay alive in this fight? as Canyon down to about 50%, dash cannons forward.
Dragon Pit to prevent Zeus from gaining any angle onto the back line. Gen.G played around their front line beautifully, walked away with the soul without losing a single member, and converted into 2 towers as well. This game feels done and dusted. HLE need a miracle to turn this game around.
As well, actually, only down to about 50%
yeah.
more now. Oh my god, that damage is revolting. As Zeka caught out yet again, Keen is in amongst it. Redemption not going to quite be enough here as Zeus gets pulled out with the all-out from Keen, but he flashes to try and get away. The Guardian Angel is going to be there, but Delight just explodes with that spiraling despair. Ruler is on a rampage now as he takes down Zeus, and the Baron should be free for Gen.G now.
No remorse as Gen.G pick apart HLE once again. Keen delivers Zeus to the rest of his team, serves him on a silver platter as they secure themselves to...
Chovy has an army of siege minions as well. Zeus wants to continue fighting here, but he just doesn't really have an inroad. They have to force a fight. They have to make something happen. But it's instead Duro that tries to go for it. The ulti out from Chovy is looking to try and kill him. Redemption comes down as he's dodging all of this poke. Redemption for the snipe, but he's able to walk his way out. But it doesn't really matter, does it, guys? Because there are 2 inhibitors now lying on the floor. Now we're going to go for it. Into the backline goes Peanut. He's headbutted back and just exploded. Viper doing a fair bit of work here, though. Is Keen going to be the first one to be taken down? Ruler, can he be the hero? As it's Viper gets down so low, almost in range. It's Chovy. Destroys Delight, and whenever they walk forward, oh my goodness, Zeka will finally find something here in this game, but there is a Keen Sante still standing, and I don't know whether Zeus is going to be enough to take him down, and he isn't.
The Rift, and that should be the go button for Gen.G to start off this objective.
Yeah, great fear there on to Zeka as he's almost just popped like a balloon. What the heck was that? Almost just one shot by Chovy alone. Look at the poke damage. Duro snipes him with the redemption, and the all-out comes through from the Keen Sante. He wants to go to the semi-finals, and he wants to go there right now. It's Zeus that's able to finally put him down, but the rest of Gen.G catch up, and it's Ruler with the double kill to send HLE home. Gen.G once again book a ticket to the semi-finals, and they're looking to continue their extraordinary run here at 2025 Worlds. And Chovy, he'll just take a little bit of a sip to celebrate.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.